It's 1:00. The meeting is called to order. I invite you to join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the next order of business is approval of the agenda.
To approve the agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes, I see.
Okay, motion has been made to approve the agenda, seconded by Jordan, seconded by Lynn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the agenda is approved. Next order of business is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting, of which Jordan and I were here.
Yeah, I will
Then
move
was
to
it-
approve the minutes.
Okay. I guess I'll second it. Any discussion? I read them through. They looked like they reflected what happened.
Yeah.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are approved. The next order of business is docket number BOA 6/2024-2 that was tabled. I would, I guess we have to decide what to do with it.
It seems like we have some further discussion, so I would move to take that item off the table.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by Jordan to take it off of the table and open to discussion, seconded by Lynn. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. It is off the table. Is there a presentation? By Luke. Mhm.
Good afternoon. So for the tabled request from last month for Raymond Yoder in Saratoga Township, it was tabled in order to provide time for them to get their Minnesota Department of Transportation driveway access. Work with the Minnesota DNR on their stream crossing. Provide a sign township acknowledgement form. And provide a better. Since then, we have received some more information. The DNR has looked at the site. They haven't looked at the site, but they have been in contact with the property owner and I think we've sent a letter. We have a DNR representative here that can speak to that in a minute if you'd like to hear from him.
Mhm.
They have submitted a Minnesota DOT application for access permit that has been issued by the Department of Transportation, and that was to use an existing field access for a dwelling and residential access. So it was just a change of classification, really.
Yeah, and that's been granted?
We have received that.
I mean,
We also have the township acknowledgement form from Saratoga Township. They went back to the township and got that signed and got that to us. Saratoga Township is also here. If you'd like to hear from them, but they indicated that they do not support the request. They had submitted material last month explaining their concerns that should be in your packet.
from before. Table, yeah.
And then they also asked we asked for a better site plan, which they did submit a site plan. That we would need to review the barn. I'd have some questions on it. And I just leave it at that. It raises some more questions that we'd want to follow up on regarding the site plan. Not really the location of the dwelling. So much as the barn that they have also indicated on the property. Where they have it indicated is on steep slopes. And so I do not think that's where they plan to put it, but we need to follow up with them on that to see what their intention is there and again, get a better idea of where these things are going to be. So that's all I have for an update from our end of things. We do have the materials here. And I guess if you want to hear from, if you have any questions for staff, or if you want to hear from
Okay.
others. we can go for it.
Anybody have questions for Lou?
I don't think I have any for Lou.
Okay,
I guess one last thing before I hand it over here is the 60-day rule. We did extend the 60 days to an additional 60, so a total of 120 days. That is up in the middle of October. We would not have time in October to hear it at your normally scheduled meeting, but you would have one more month into September. That meeting, in order to wanted to deliberate further, if you wanted to put it back on the table, you could do so for another month. Still have time. We did talk with the property owner about signing a waiver from the 60-day rule that would essentially waive the 60-day requirement, but we haven't heard anything back and we haven't gotten a signed form, so we're still at this point still obligated to make a decision.
if the application is deemed incomplete, does that waive the 60-day rule?
No, because we took the application in.
Okay,
It's the 60-day rule, timeframe is quick.
all right,
Yeah, it was deemed complete to bring it to you.
okay.
So some other thing that you need to make a decision, we can,
Okay,
ask.
okay, is someone from the DNR is here? Would you like to just state your name and address just for the
Do we
record?
need to open the meeting to the public for this? or no?
No,
Okay.
no, yeah,
Lucas Young's my area hydrologist for Minnesota DNR, located out of the Lake City office.
Okay.
I cover Goodhue, Waukesha, and Winona counties, as well as federal issues along the Mississippi River from Red Wing to the Iowa border. So, been asked to come and update you on the permit application process, where we are at with that. Mr. Yoder had contacted DNR requesting a paper application. We had scrubbed our website and files of our paper applications. So it took me a while to locate the opportunity for him to submit a paper application. Because of that, we ended up, receiving an application after the culvert had been installed. We did, accept that, and have been processing that. We have recently, requested hydraulic information to ensure that, the crossing, is compliant with state floodplain, requirements, and are waiting on that information.
so essentially, and that requires a permit from DNR to put in a
Public
culvert,
waters
yeah.
At the
yeah.
location.
So, the permit is not imminent? There's a lot of information needed yet, or?
Our permit is not complete as of this point, because we need, some hydraulics information to support the sizing of a crossing or truck run. So there will still be a 30-day comment period once we have that information.
Okay, after, okay. Any other questions? Or,
I don't believe so.
okay. Oh, go ahead, Steve. Yep,
I just wanted to say that, just to make sure that you stay within that 120 days, if they don't sign a waiver and they haven't provided the information you need. Regardless, but there's nothing wrong with having them do a waiver and extend it.
right.
Just wanted to make sure.
If, the other thing is if a variance is denied, how soon can the people reapply?
If it's
1 year.
1 year, okay. Any questions for Steve? Other? Okay, thank you. And I guess, well, yeah, if we do any other, you have to open it, but do you want to, we can discuss it here as to whether you think that permit is, because if it's not
if it's
issued,
going to happen within the rest of our time frame or not?
yeah, or we have till September.
Was it September or October? It's confusing.
October is too late. It's September, what is it, the third Thursday in September?
Oh, because it wouldn't meet in time in October.
Yeah,
Separation,
yeah, to
okay.
make that thing unless you get a waiver.
So are we just discussing whether to allow them to build or what are we?
Yeah, that's our job is to go there, what, to give them variance, but if we don't have a stream crossing,
So is it,
Right.
is
How,
it possible
to-
to receive that information in time for the next meeting? I mean,
Are you asking about the DNR permit?
Yes.
yeah,
Well, Lucas, I think you can.
Is it Lucas?
I think it's, entirely depends on the applicants and what they're able to get to the DNR as far as permit application material.
is this a situation where it could cause such a change in the culvert, et cetera, that it could be very expensive? I suppose that's hard to say.
And I typically don't answer questions regarding what a third-party hydraulic modeling engineer would cost.
Right, yeah, so, yeah. Okay,
But yeah, so, whether we receive the information, what is the date of that September meeting?
that'll be the third week in September, third Thursday, is that right?
Yeah, third Thursday of the month.
Yep. Which I,
Yeah, we have requested the information be provided by September 15th.
okay,
After which point, if no information is received, we would be issuing a restoration order to remove the culvert crossing.
okay, yeah, that's helpful. Okay, now,
Something to keep in mind is that, we don't need that permit in order to take action here with the Board of Adjustment.
mhm,
That's your choice if you want to wait for that, or that you think that's germane to the request. It can be conditioned upon, that's completed after the fact. And of
Mhm.
course, we wouldn't be able to issue a development certificate to allow the project to proceed without it.
yeah, that's a good point.
well, you do have you do have time or a month to, and maybe it'd be helpful too if the whole board was here.
Yeah,
I mean, which we don't know.
Currently, you have the findings within your
Mhm, the table, yeah,
in the staff report.
Yep.
And those are written in support of the position, but if you wanted to deny it, you'd want to look at those criteria and make a finding that supports your decision.
yeah, and
Criteria.
those were written prior to receiving a township acknowledgement form
Correct.
that did not
Oh, that's right,
indicate
a sign,
support.
yeah, we didn't have
correct.
a sign. form.
Correct.
I guess I would like to open the meeting, I would make a motion to open the meeting to the public to hear from the township representatives.
Is there a second?
No.
Okay, the
You wouldn't be opening like a public hearing. You don't have to open it.
We don't need to.
You can just, you're essentially, you're taking it off the table and you're deliberating, you're discussing. You can ask, it's just like any other meeting where you can ask for people from the public for more information directly.
Okay,
So it's not about reopening the public hearing.
Because we had a
Because
public hearing,
if you were
yeah.
to reopen the public hearing, then like anybody is able to speak. You've already opened it and closed it.
Right,
At this point, you're just looking for more information from specific members.
Okay,
So you
okay.
can Call on people as you see fit.
right,
okay, well, I will withdraw that motion.
okay. Okay, the motion withdrawn, so
And I would take comments from the township
can-
if they're
yeah.
willing.
Tom Campbell, 11763 County Road 6, St. Charles. Saratoga Township Chairman. Paper they brought to us, and like the last other meeting we're at, that residents of Saratoga Townships are deadly against this. We got too much ag land and building sites going on as it is. For example, you can run 2 miles and see 11 new building sites on prime ag land. That's just, it doesn't matter who it is, they're selling, they're building. We want to preserve our ag land, just like the hillsides and everything else. It has nothing to do with permits from DNR, because this is for the ag land. I'm strongly, it's a local government, does not want it. I think that's how it should go, it should be denied at that point. We know what's going on in our own township area. That thought, I mean, if you're, for some odd reason, you wanna give it to them, then I would suggest there's 68 acres, or roughly, I believe it is, to say they cannot split any more land off or build another building site on it. 68 acres, no matter how they split it, no matter what. But there will be other building sites on there, and we'll be down here again. We have enough of putting building sites in 80-acre land, and then there's 3-4 more building sites. People sell off otherwise, that come out of town or wherever, so. Saratoga Township, and the people of Saratoga Township don't want no more of this building going on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments?
We're going off of what he said. Isn't there a county rule about you have to have 3
Yeah, there's all
40
county,
acres.
right, yeah, and that, yeah, you have to, anything smaller. In fact, the next
So-
one is that situation. The next one on the docket is
Right.
about.
Yeah, that's one, or it sounds like they live near it. It sounds like there's more than one building going on.
Yeah.
You know, like they sell it off and then they sell off more and then they sell off more. And
Mhm. Everybody has to go
That
through,
becomes an
everybody
issue.
has to go through, yeah, the variances.
Well, I believe this is the first one I've seen on type 1 soils. And
type 1, is that the good
that is
one?
the best soil in
Yeah.
the county, correct?
I guess. And you can't,
So they need to cross a stream that sometimes
Yeah.
floods.
and
they wanna
that's,
build
yeah,
on Prime farmland. And
And it's
how much of
not,
that land would be taken up?
Well, that was an issue with the site plan. We don't know exactly.
yeah, and that can be,
Yeah, we haven't gotten that
that's really, I guess
information yet.
that's not our thing is whether to be it on prime soils. The, in the stream really isn't
Well, I guess
it isn't our purview.
I think the
They do
footprint of the buildings would apply to this because it is taking out a certain amount of prime soils, and not to mention the driveway is about as long as it could possibly be through that
Right,
one soil as well.
because it's already there, the field driveway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not, I mean,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
there was not a crossing and everything else there.
So do they actually have to drive through the stream or are they gonna?
Yeah,
make
they have to go,
bridge
they have a
or-
culvert in there now, which,
They wouldn't
Isn't
have to,
permitted,
but that's what they're
Culvert
planning.
Yeah,
and gravel
yeah,
over it, so it's
yeah,
just
yeah, there's a culvert, yeah, they put a culvert in
So-
and without a permit.
in good
Yeah.
weather, it's fine, but if
Yeah,
it's,
and it is the whole bottom does flood, so I guess I would debate as to how much is prime farmland, even though it's classified.
it'd be
that.
horrible to have somebody swept away in a flood too. I mean,
Yeah,
if it ever
no, and
did
that's-
happen.
it's, and it is an active stream. And if you look at the floodplain, it covers the whole bottom does
Mhm.
flood. They're built, that's why their building site is further up. And with the slopes and the hills there, do we have any actual slides or pictures of the site?
No, but I can share with you the submitted site plan.
Yeah, I think we're, But we had that in the original here.
I just have the one copy if you want to,
Not very good, so.
Is that this?
It's kind of similar to this one.
It just said, is that, the marks on it.
Is that different than what I have?
It's just that they have the actual thing marked on there, yeah. So I guess the question is if we want to make the decision now or wait till next month or
Because I'm.
I mean,
after
we
the
can't
way-
really make it based on what, you can't make it on what's based what might happen, somebody might do, even if, you know, wouldn't be fair. And I also just like to make the statement is that the township is kind of passing the buck here. If the township is so concerned, then they should have their own zoning, which can be stricter than others, and they can administer it under the law. Wilson Township has their own zoning. It costs money because of the situation. And so the township has the authority to have their own zoning. I'm just making a statement. And then the township doesn't like what decisions are made. And so, and then, you know, but the township has the power, period, so. Because if you don't like the county decisions, then the township should do something. But it doesn't apply in this case because we're here.
Well,
Frankly, it's not, I mean, I understand the arguments and things too, but our only thing is prime land, and frankly, they're up against the hillside. I think they're making good use. You know,
Well-
there's prime land in the floodplains and all over, and that doesn't mean it should be
yeah,
farmed.
it is up against the hillside, but it's also at the bottom of a ravine, the way it seems.
Yeah, but
And,
they'd have to, because many houses are, you know, in ravines and things.
So what we're deciding is.
Is if they can build
if
on
they can
prime
build on
farmland.
prime
It's-
farmland.
Yeah,
As
it's
far as
really,
the-
yeah, the other things are
floodplain
really not.
And the water access, that's somebody,
Yeah.
other department's
yeah.
decision.
I think that's our only thing, isn't it? Prime land.
Yeah, I don't, there was not a CUP associated with this, right?
Probably not, because they got 68
I don't
acres.
think there was.
I don't believe so because it's got at least 40 acres. They're proposing
Mhm.
60-some acre parcel.
Yeah.
It was less than 40 acres, there'd be a conditional use permit. There's some other triggers as well, but I think in this case,
Mhm.
it was just
Essentially, it's in a low. It's not taking up a huge, whatever field, in my opinion. But, and every decision is separate from every other decision here, so you're not setting a precedent or you're not
Yeah,
going on other precedents.
I just, I'd be a lot more comfortable with this if I don't see a need to cross the stream in the first place and cause potential damage to the neighboring farmland or increase incidents of flooding. So I'm really not satisfied with the site plan, and I don't think I could vote to support this right now.
Them building a house would affect a neighboring farm?
Oh, yeah, because they're bottlenecking the stream at that driveway crossing.
Sure, okay.
And I don't see any reason why they can't build on the highway side of that stream and avoid that entirely.
But isn't that all floodplain?
Not all of it, well, yeah. Do you have a topographical map?
I might have to look back.
Yeah, there's a floodplain map.
There's a flood, we got the flood,
Is this gray area the floodplain?
let's see, on the page, what is
Yeah,
page is it?
The gray is the floodplain.
Oh, there. And then also there's one where the yellow is on here. This one, and I don't know if it's after or before, I don't know where. Yep, it's a couple after. Yep, that one.
So there's some farmland they could build on this project. So,
That's what,
but again, then what kind of soils is that?
it's probably prime
It'll be
also,
a prime soils issue, yeah.
so it wouldn't be,
And of course, these lines to where the flood goes aren't gonna be precise. Every
Right.
time there's new water
Right.
coming through, it's gonna vary.
and with the, I mean, the testimony had been before is that the whole bottom kind of floods.
Okay,
It
so,
backs up because that field road is there and I don't know what was there. It must have been a culvert before.
which is why they wanna build back and up
Maybe.
higher.
Maybe, I don't know, yeah. So would you all like to table it? Get more input from if next time you have more members present? Or,
Well, if we
Matt,
had more
again-
members, we might have more input and brains going together on what makes sense here, but I mean, I can also see where if they are gonna build, they kinda wanna get going.
Yeah.
Are they gonna wanna build this year?
yeah,
But on the other hand,
can they, can they cross the stream to a house if they don't have the permit for it? For the crossing? For residents instead of a field road?
No, they wouldn't be able to make improvements to that stream crossing or do anything between the banks as
Yeah.
far as, grading, filling, bringing up material without DNR approval.
Can they build a house without DNR approval of the crossing?
Well, they need to be able to access the site.
Right,
And
yeah.
we're not gonna issue a permit without the access being
Okay, yeah,
decided.
we can get into a little bit of a catch
So
22
yeah,
too.
the access was, and the driveway as part of the site plan that would need to be permitted and provided as part of the development certificate. All these questions would have to be figured out before
Mhm.
they started building.
Okay, well, I'll move to table it.
Okay, is there a second? To table it?
yeah, I mean,
We do have a month and to get more information and,
yeah, I'd like more information on
So-
these things.
okay, the motion's been seconded by Jordan made by Jordan and seconded by Lynn.
Is there specific information that you're looking for in between now and then that staff can help provide?
Yeah, much clearer site plan would be ideal for me.
Yeah, because that pertains directly to the prime.
Yeah, size of the house, width of the driveway, size of the barn, all those things would be
And
nice to
are
know.
they actually gonna put in a road? Or are they still talking about being a field road? I mean,
Well,
Are they
It's
gonna-
a good
are they
idea,
gonna-
Yeah,
It's gotta meet access standards, so, we do have standards in our zoning ordinance for access.
so does that
Especially
raise the
Yeah.
driveway up at all, or is it
Yeah,
just,
that has to do with, the type of driveway, the width, the length, the turnarounds at the end.
yeah, or emergency
The,
vehicles.
Essentially has to be accessible for services.
so then if they're raising the driveway, does that affect the movement of the water coming through there?
That's what the
Yeah.
hydrological study would show. There are ways to do it, but you have to do it right. You have to do it correctly. You have to do it in a way that would get a permit from the DNR.
Okay. Mhm.
The ones that I've seen, there's different ways to do it. I'm sure that riprap could be used. To talk more, but usually I see concrete, fords or bridges. With culverts. Are resilient to flooding.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I guess I would like to see the hydrology as well, but if we don't have that by next month, then to go a different route.
Because, the prime reason is the building site. We don't have, the layout of the buildings and that.
Yeah.
And also be good to have a topographical map and maybe some grade level pictures, more film and stuff.
We can put together a packet of information with floodplain and
Yeah.
Say, some
Yeah,
updated,
photos or
mapping,
video
so it's-
or, yeah, to get a layout. Okay. Thank you, Lou. Okay, is there any more discussion? If not, all those in favor of tabling it, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The variance request is tabled until the next meeting in September. Thank you, Lou. All right, next order of business is docket number BOA 81524, number 1, to consider the petition of David and Nancy Uru to seek a variance regarding allowance of construction of a single-family dwelling on Class 3, 1 through 3 prime soils, and to allow dwelling within 415 feet of a feedlot. And we have a presentation.
Yes, we do. So like you mentioned, this petition is for David and Nancy Unruh. They are looking to build a new home on their farm. It would be replacing an existing home. That's adjacent to the property. They would, in the course of doing so, they would be creating a new parcel, approximately 3 acres. In order to get financing, for the new build. It does, the petition does include a class 2 and 3 soils, as well as a setback from the neighboring feedlot. Neighboring feedlot is their own, but they did apply for it. The whole purpose of this is to be able to make the parcel more liquid. The bank wants it that way, so we piggybacked the second portion with the feedlot variance as well on us. So that it could be sold in the future if mentioned that that is not their plan, though, is to sell separate from the farm. Okay, site location is within Hillsdale Township, section 28. Along County Road 110, sort of between Stockton and Rolling Stone, up on top of the bluff. The 3 acre parcel is in red on your screen, and you can see approximate location of the driveway access from County Road 110 and the orientation of the proposed dwelling. The blue arrow on the site plan also indicates the existing dwelling. It's an old farmhouse on an existing farmstead there. The farmstead has an active feedlot and has livestock there. And you can see to the south is the lagoon. The Unruhs own approximately 380 acres, but there's additional land that's it's owned by trust, and so they farm about 800 acres or more. I think David could speak to that, what their entire land holdings consist of. But they looked at all of that land for potential building sites and arrived at this location because of the impact to their farming operations. This was gonna have the least impact on their it's a little bit closer look at the site plan and the soils on the site. The white lines are 2-foot contour lines, so you can see the slopes. I know those don't jump out too well on this aerial photo, but you can see if you move to the south and west from the proposed dwelling, the lines get tighter, and that's indicating a steeper slope to that side. There's a ravine down that way. You see the trees down in there a little bit further. And there are bluffs as you go down further down the ravine. Up on top, the slope range is pretty manageable, 6 to 8%. Our ordinance steep slopes as 12% or greater, so this would be below that. The existing dwelling that they currently live in and that would be removed upon completion is over to the east on the right hand side there. You can see it a little bit better in those pine trees. Now for the feedlot, proposed dwelling is approximately 415 feet away at its closest point. And currently they have, they're registered for 58.4 animal units. They have in the past had over 200 animal units on this location. So capacity is greater, but at the moment, they're at 58.4 registered animal units. And again, the required setback is 1,000 feet for feedlot of this size. Setback requirement from County Road 110 is 100 feet, as indicated by the purple line in this photo. They're proposing to build it at least 200 feet away. So that standard is being met. This is a good aerial photo also to look at the field. You can see that the northern part, there's a little bit different texture there. I'll point it out for you. In this area, this field here, that field there is actually cultivated. Currently it's in sorghum, which is a feedstock, but to the south is pasture. So where they'd be looking at building is a little bit in that field, but a little bit in the pasture as well, kind of in that area. That field as well has been it is class 2 and 3 soils. But just a note that that is the area that they where they borrowed soil from to make the berm around the lagoon. And so those soils are not as good or as thick, as deep as they once were. So that was another, I think, factor for their choosing the location, is that the field isn't as productive as most of their farm, and it's also in a corner of the farm that isn't. It's kind of off to the side. It's not in the middle of their farm. Some pictures. This is a picture from Highway 110 to the south, looking at the proposed building site. You can see the sorghum field. Then there's beyond that is the pasture. This is a picture from the same location, just looking back to the east along County Road 110. You can see the existing farmhouse. And then this is going the other way. You can get the lay of the land, what it looks like in that area, looking to the west. Should be noted that there is a well on the farmstead. They don't plan on drilling a new well. They'd be running water over from there. We have received a township acknowledgement form from Hillsdale Township. They indicate support for the petition. And we have attached 2 conditions. The staff analysis and draft findings do support granting the variance at this time. But as always, if the board decides to make a different decision, they can look at those criteria and findings to support their decision. All that I have. Is there any questions for me before you move forward with the public hearing?
Were all the property owners around there were notified, right? And there isn't any input?
We did get, thank you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I did see that.
There
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
There is one comment that did come in
Yeah.
via email.
In support, right?
For a neighbor.
Yeah.
They're in support.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I read that. I saw it. That's right.
And just a curiosity question more than anything, when you're talking about those white lines, you said that show the grade.
Yes.
And then you said there's a ravine. Is that darker area?
Yeah, so,
So, is it-
below the red parcel there, like kind of the south,
So it's sloping down, not up?
yeah,
Okay.
they're on top of the ridge.
Okay,
And so the beam slopes down from there. That darker area is trees.
Yeah, that was, could see it, yeah.
okay.
Any other questions for Lou? Thank you, Lou. And do the applicants wish to make a statement this time? Come up and let's see, David?
Dave Bunner.
Okay, just for the record, again, state your name and address in the microphone, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's our application for our house on our lot,
Mhm.
on our farm, so. We're looking to build something there. About what we're in,
Mhm.
I think that's the best location there is. We own approximately 2 miles of township and county road frontage. All but 1/8 mile,
Mhm.
we own both sides of the road. All of it is class 1, class 2 soils.
Mhm.
And I don't want a driveway that's 300 yards long to get back and live on a slope down on the hill. I want to live up,
Mhm.
open.
Mhm.
That's why we chose that.
Yeah. Just, do you have any questions for David?
I
Okay,
don't.
okay,
I don't think so.
okay. Thank you, David. And I guess I would entertain a motion to open it to the public.
So moved.
Second,
Second, okay, the motion been made by Jordan and seconded by Lynn to open it to the public. All those in favor say aye.
Right?
Aye. Those opposed say no. The meeting is open to the public. Is there anyone who wishes to address the variance petition before us at this time? For David and Nancy Unruh for a variance to build on their farm on prime soil. For the second time, is there anyone who wishes to address this petition? BOA 8/15/24, number 1. And for the third and final time, is there anyone who wishes to address the variance petition before us of David and Nancy Unruh? If not, I entertain a motion.
so
Okay.
moved.
Okay, the motion has been made by Lynn and seconded by Jordan to close the meeting to the public. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Meeting is closed to the public and open to the board.
I would move to approve this with the findings of fact as they're written and the conditions as they're written as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
is there a
I
second?
think so. I mean, it seems like,
Okay.
they're picking, it's their farm, you
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
They picked what's gonna least affect
Yeah.
their farming operation
Right.
and yet give them.
And I
a
guess
place to live.
essentially it's not prime soil, it's prime soil in name only because if the topsoil's been taken for fill elsewhere, it's probably, well, the motion has been made by Jordan to approve the variance with all the conditions and seconded by Lynn. Is there any more discussion? I guess one thing I was wondering is if there should be a time frame on removing the house, the old house, so that they're not tempted to rent it out or anything.
Dave, did you have a plan for removing the old house?
I don't have a time frame on when the new one's going up.
Right,
Okay.
What commodities did in the last 2 weeks, it might be.
it might be. Well, it could be based on when you move into the new house that we did on the past one. Maybe just put a time frame of 6 months to a year.
Would you be comfortable with that one way or the other, or?
Are you saying after completion of?
Yeah,
the-
after you move into the new house and it's vacated. A year?
It'd be at least a year.
Yep. Not just, like I say, for my own thing, if I can procrastinate, I will, so. Do we want to add that? Is that agreeable to add the year after they move into the new house? Okay, Steve, go ahead.
If, just to make it a little more concrete, if you do that, maybe a year after the certificate of
Okay. Okay, yeah, that'd be a,
That's a legal thing that says they have
yeah,
to move
yeah,
in.
that, yeah, you have a right to move into it.
Does that seem doable for you
Yeah,
within a year of when you move into your new house?
Is that agreeable to the
I mean, okay,
motion maker?
just to throw something out there, you mentioned if they did want to rent it, and I don't know if it's what kind of condition it's
Right,
in,
yeah.
so they want to, but is that something that's not allowed by,
That's a good question. Steve, is that controlled as far as renting a house on the farm, renting it out? An old house?
Answer that question. I would have to research that for you.
Okay,
I mean, if it was stated in his application that he intends to remove the old house, I would assume that
Yeah.
renting it out would be contrary to what was stated, and that would be covered in our first condition.
Yeah,
yeah, that's true, I think.
but it would be advisable to have some sort of a time frame. Because otherwise, words like move in or vague or after,
Yeah.
they're gonna take it down. Then you just get into, what's reasonable.
Yeah,
At time in
non-reasonable.
court. So,
Are you agreeable to amending your motion to include that a year after?
The
certificate of
amendment would be,
occupation?
okay, yeah, 1 year from the certificate of occupation.
Okay. And are you agreeable to that?
um,
Go ahead, Lou.
If I may, I just wanted to point out that it is, that the existing farmstead, now they've indicated that their plan is to remove it in the future.
Uh-huh.
It would not be out of compliance though if they left it. What we're looking at is a new dwelling on a new 3-acre parcel. And we're approving a new dwelling.
New dwelling, and the other one is.
The old one is still in compliance. It still meets the minimum lot size. It's over 40 acres on that parcel. It's an existing dwelling. It would be, legal. It's just a matter of, going through with what they indicated that they
Right,
were
yeah.
plans.
Yeah,
so it wouldn't go against any laws or anything if they left it standing.
Right, exactly.
So if they changed their mind and thought, well, maybe
They
we
changed
could
their
rent
mind,
this,
Somebody
have
else, they wanted to rehab.
a
it,
grandchild
something else, they-
gets married, and needs a house or a employee or something, they have that.
I don't know if that's their plan at all.
Yeah.
They had indicated that they.
right, they're gonna
would
remove it,
probably
yeah.
Remove it.
Uh-huh.
But I just want to point
Good, keep it, yeah.
out.
So maybe we don't need to have anything about taking.
Yeah, I would assume not amend my motion.
Okay,
So they would have the option of leaving it if they want to.
yeah, if we just left.
But
it
if
the
they
way it was.
decide they want to tear it down, they have that option. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like
okay.
time-wise,
Yeah, I
it's
know, yeah.
to infinity,
yeah.
really.
Yeah, and it wouldn't, removing it would lessen our tax roll on that parcel as well, so.
It's maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
the value is maybe, yeah, maybe it costs, yeah, I think, yeah, you're a good point. So essentially then we have the motion as was stated before.
Yep.
And
So
as
he
you
has,
seconded,
he has options.
yeah,
he
we don't
can
have
leave it
any,
or
we don't
take
have
it.
any time frame in there.
Yeah,
Okay,
I like that.
okay. If there's no more discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. The variance is granted, and I do have to read the statement for the appeal. All decisions by the Board of Adjustment in granting variances or in hearing appeals from any administrative order, requirement, decision, or determination shall be final, except that any aggrieved person or persons or any department, board, or commission of the jurisdiction of the state shall have the right to appeal within 30 days after receipt of the notice of the decision to the district court in the county in which the land is located on questions of law and fact. Any party that would like to submit an appeal to the decision rendered at the public hearing must do so to the district court. Planning Environmental Services is not responsible for filing an appeal or obtaining representation by counsel for the petitioner. Next order of business is,
A motion to adjourn?
we have a second.
I second it.
Okay, motion is made by Jordan and seconded by Lynn to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. Meeting is adjourned.